Hi there, I'm Michael Cuthbert. I'm an associate professor in the Music and Theater Arts department, and I work a lot on really old music, medieval music, new music, and understanding how we can look at music with computers. And I've been trying to take these approaches of computational musicology and things that I've been doing into the classroom, where I've been teaching for the past few years a course that the course title is called Fundamentals of Music. And this is the class that I've been doing for a while, and I've been thinking a lot about, well, how can I make this class better? How can I make any of the teaching we do better? What can we learn that we know works? And in music, it's a little bit different from some other disciplines because in the fundamentals of music and music theory, we know what works. This includes having students spend a lot of time with instruments such as the piano, and then do exercises by ear, singing them back. And then writing music, having it performed, hearing it, reacting to this, and having it change. So we know what would work. We just don't know how to do an experience like this for 80 students or 100 students or 200 students a semester. How can we transfer this there? So the students in a traditional course get these worksheets. Maybe they get them on Wednesday. They go home. They sit at their desk with a paper and pencil, and they fill them out. And it looks kind of like this. And in this case, they're trying to do major or minor. And then probably a week later, they'll turn it in, get it to this teacher, and the teacher will get it back with all these comments on it, what's right, what's wrong. And there's always a comment on one of the wrong things that's just absurdly wrong that the teacher in frustration writes, "Did you hear this?" Of course she didn't hear this. Of course he didn't hear this. They were working at their desk. The point of instruction is to get it so that music notation like this has an oral image. So I've been working a lot on how we can do this, how we can transform more of our examples into things that students hear, that students experience. And part of it was creating a set of tools. I'm calling them Artusi, which is named after a very, very famous curmudgeon named Giovanni Artusi, who basically just said, keep working, keep working, keep working, keep working, and do it this way. And what I've been doing is been moving the rote elements of musical learning to Artusi. It's a learning platform like edX, MIT X, Coursera, many other things. There's assignments, you do them, et cetera. That's pretty much the same as almost everywhere else. But what's important to me is that there are a lot of things that we do in the creation of music that are very creative. Compose a piece, improvise, talk about your feelings with a piece. These are all creative acts, and they're very fundamentally important. But most of the things we actually teach are not creative, even in the creative arts. Write an E-flat major scale. There is a right and a wrong answer on that. Tap a melody in time. Play a chord progression on the piano. Sing a given melody. How much of this type of education can we move online so that we have time as instructors and as students to work on the creative parts? So this is some example of how Artusi would work. In some things, the students can work at home. They can see music. They can hear it, decide what type of chord. This is the exact drop-in replacement for the exercise I was showing before. That sounds more like other major. Nope. I'll learn eventually that that's a minor chord, and so on. There's some exercises that we do that are entirely oral. There's nothing given on the written assignment that would give a sense of which scale I'm asking for. The student would just have to listen to it and eventually develop his or her ear on how to move forward with that. And there's something about the mens and manus aspect of this. If you have a great melody in your head, a great piece, you can enjoy it, but nobody else is going to enjoy it until you find a way to get it down on paper or get it on a tape or something. So this is about translating what we're learning in our head into skills that can move music onto the paper. So we do a lot of in-class exercises in this class. We'll do a lot of things to try to get immediate understanding of how people are doing. Everybody's hearing things in class, and everybody in the class buys one of these little MIDI keyboards that we're able to play along. And I'll usually stand in the front of the class and be playing such that students can see exactly what's going on. Let's see if this is, hopefully the sound is going to work here. So I'll be playing a note. And if you're in a class, you'll sing it back to me. Men, or women. Then I'll play. Sing that back to me. Now sing it with the letters. It's C, E, D, C. C, E, D, C. So you can see there's a lot of different forms of reinforcement. If you all had keyboards, you would be playing along and hearing it in your ear while you're singing. So you have singing, you have the visual representation of the keyboard up there. You have the notes being played on a staff. So the students will be playing scales in class, hearing them. These are all entered in on the keyboards. They'll be tapping melodies in time and playing them in time on the piano and getting feedback on how they're doing. And we're almost there on the beta to actually be able to have them sing back melodies that they've heard and have the computer detect how well they're doing. So all of this is generating a ton of data for me and the instructional staff to be able to understand what is working and what isn't working. So we're getting everybody's answers, everything going in. I'm being able to figure out that actually one of the assignments that I thought was really hard for the students was actually only taking about 9 minutes. So we've ramped up the difficulty and brought up the amount of work in this important fundamental skill. Something else I thought the students were understanding really well, they were actually doing quite poorly on. So I'm able to really quickly get back feedback on how everybody's doing. But the most important thing for me is I'm spending less time doing those, grading those assignments. So I'm able to spend more time helping students compose pieces. And I'll end with just 10 seconds of what the students are able to produce after 12 weeks of working in this class. So here's some student examples. So this is what's happening in not quite fundamentals of music at MIT, and I hope that some people will join me afterwards for asking any questions or anything else I can help you with. Thank you very much for listening.